Hi, this is Kevin, and today I'm going to talk about gerunds and infinitives, which is chapter 13 in our grammar textbook. We are going to be studying gerunds and infinitives this week and next week. Okay, so this is going to be an introduction, some general information about this grammar point, and then you have some exercises in the textbook. Okay, let's get started. So first, let's look at some examples to make sure you know the form. Okay, and this is a grammar that you already probably kind of know and you're already using, I'm sure, but it's common for students of English to make mistakes with this grammar. So take a look at these examples. I quit smoking years ago. She enjoys watching TV. They are thinking about not studying for the quiz. Riding trains is fun. Okay, so these are all examples of gerunds. And as you can see, here's the form. It's always the same, the V form of the, or VING form of the verb. Okay. And when students ask me what's the difference between a gerund and infinitive, there's no simple rule that's always true, but generally speaking, gerunds are usually refer to actions that have already happened, or they're already happening, or they're completed. So look at example A. I quit smoking years ago. Smoking this is a true sentence about me. Do I have this experience of smoking? Yes, right? It's already happened. I have this experience. She enjoys watching TV. Has she watched TV before? Yes, right? Or here, riding trains is fun. Has this person ridden a train before? Yes, probably, right? They have this experience. So there's gerunds. Okay, let's take a look at some infinitives. E. Shuji may decide to become a dog caretaker. That's what he told us. F. We are learning how to use infinitives. I'm planning to go to the Tokyo Olympics next year. And H. A piano is too heavy for you to pick up alone. Here's the infinitive. So you can see the infinitive is the to plus the base form of the verb. And infinitives are, and again, this is not always true, but generally, these are usually talking about actions that are maybe in the future or they're unfinished, right? And this is not true all the time. So it doesn't work always, but let's look at these examples and see. Shuji may decide to become a dog caretaker. So is he a caretaker right now? No, but he may become one in the future. This one doesn't really work, but gee, I'm planning to go to the Olympics. So this action go to the Olympics is not now, it's in the future. And a piano is too heavy to pick up. So obviously this person didn't pick up the piano yet, right? This action hasn't happened yet. And so basically the form gerunds, like I said, is the verb plus the ing. So the verb ing form. And infinitives, the form is to plus the base form of the verb. A very simple form, right? And that's basically it, okay, for the form. It's very easy. Quickly, I'll just say in many languages have similar versions of these forms. These are common to many different languages. In Japanese, you have these same forms. In Japanese, there's the versions of these. It's not exactly the same because obviously the grammar is very different. But here, soatte wa dameda, this form, the te form of the verb, is equivalent. And here, dorobo ga hashiri dashita, this form that comes before the mas form, like hashirimasu, this form of the verb is these are equivalent to gerunds and infinitives in English because these act similar to English. These are verb forms that act like nouns. So here in this sentence, sawate, this means like touching wa dame desu, right? And many Japanese speakers will often like translate this form into English as ing, and they'll say an ing form when it's not appropriate in English. So anyway, that's not really important. But these are basically verb forms that act like nouns. All right. And remember, nouns we just studied. Nouns can be the subject of a sentence, they can be the object of a verb, or they can be the object of a preposition. And so in a similar way, these verb forms can be objects of a verb, the subject of a sentence, or object of a preposition. But these are verbs, so they also can have their own objects, right? It's a little bit crazy if you think about it too hard. So don't think too hard, but try to trust your sense, your grammatical sense. But this week and next week, we are going to be focusing on and paying attention to these forms, right? And these gerunds and infinitives are not main verbs, so they don't show tense or aspect. So we don't know exactly what time it happens or what the form of the action is. It's not 100% clear until you see the regular main verb, but they do. They are verb forms that act like nouns in a sentence. So this week we're going to be focusing on the main pattern of these verb forms, which is gerunds and infinitives, which are the object of a verb. Okay, so the tricky part in this grammar is that some verbs in English love gerunds. So when you have a main verb and the object is a gerund, it has to be a gerund. It cannot be a infinitive. Okay, so here's a list. This is chart 13.1 from our textbook. And here you can see this is a list of verbs that only like gerunds as their objects. So look, I enjoy working in my garden. Anne finished studying at midnight. David quit smoking. Would you mind opening the window? Okay, and like in this example, like I said, here the main verb is mind. It has a gerund as an object, but then this gerund has its own object, the window, right? Open the window. So this noun, window, is the object of this gerund, opening, which is the object of mind, the main verb. Okay, so anyway, here's a list. So please check this list in the book, or you can look at this presentation. Remember these words and that they come with a gerund, right? And because these are verb forms, gerunds can also have a negative form, right? I considered not going to class. So the negative form, like I showed before, is just not plus the gerund. Okay, so that's verbs that like gerunds. We also have verbs that like infinitives. This is chart 13.3 from the book. So here in this chart, there's a list of verbs that only use infinitives after them. And some of these you already use naturally without any mistakes because you've already acquired the grammar, like want. I want to go to the Tokyo Olympics, right? So you probably already know that one. So these verbs, just remember that these ones cannot be followed by a gerund. It's not okay to say, for example, I hope going to the Tokyo Olympics. That is incorrect. We cannot say that. Okay. Again, it's same thing. Just add not in front of the infinitive to make it negative. So I've decided not to keep my old car. Okay. And then finally, a little tricky part is we have some verbs that like both. And that means that the main verb can have a gerund as an object, or it can have an infinitive. Like these examples, it began raining, it began to rain. And the meaning is the same, right? And there's, in our book, it lists only 7 of these verbs. So you just have to memorize these. Okay, so please remember begin, start, continue, like, love, hate, and can't stand. All right, so those 7, you just have to remember that both are okay. And I think that's all we're focused on this week. That's the verb and having a gerund or infinitive as an object. So this form, this pattern is what we're going to be paying attention to this week. Next week, we're going to be talking about a couple additions to this grammar, a couple more details about this grammar, but this is the main introduction that I wanted to explain today. Okay, so You have some homework in the textbook. Good luck with that, and let me know if you have any questions. Thanks, and I'll talk to you again soon. Bye.